Everyone needs to learn to code because coding is the new literacy. If you can't code, you'll soon be irrelevant, and the truth is, coding is easy, so you really have no excuse. These are all claims that aren't true, but I've been told that fear-based tactics are a great way to get you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to share several practical techniques that help me learn to code, because learning itself is a skill, and if you want to be a software engineer, you'll need to constantly learn new things. Many years ago, I didn't know how to code. I wanted to learn because I hated my low-paying, miserable job and wanted to build an app on the internet that would help me break free and start my own business. I thought I wasn't smart enough to code, but you only live once, so I bought a massive book on PHP and MySQL. Sure enough, I wasn't smart enough to code, and those toilets weren't going to clean themselves, so I went back to my crappy job and forgot about it. Luckily, a little while later, my family needed a website, so I figured I was at least smart enough to learn HTML, and somehow a few months later, I managed to create my first website. The important thing to recognize when learning to code is that hard work is more valuable than talent. Talent is great if you have it, and there are those 10x developers who just have an innate understanding of things on a much higher level, but programming is a skill, much like playing a musical instrument or juggling. For most people, you suck at first, then you feel like a genius when you create your first program, then you realize you suck again, and this cycle goes on endlessly. Learning is supposed to be tough, and I truly believe you need pain to grow. Just like with learning the guitar, your fingers hurt until you build calluses. In programming, you'll have to bang your head against the keyboard until you figure out how to get rid of those error messages. So if you don't have talent, be prepared to put in the hard work. As you learn, you may wonder which programming language you should start with. The truth is, it doesn't matter, as long as you get really good at one of them. The thing about programming is that there's so much to learn, you'll never retain everything. I used to be a good Ruby programmer, but now I've forgotten almost everything about it, and that's no big deal, because memorizing syntax doesn't really matter. What you really want to learn and retain are programming patterns. Essentially, everything in programming is problem solving. The idea is to build a toolbox in your mind that you can use to solve virtually any problem in any language. For example, if you need to loop through something but have never used Perl, you'll still understand the differences between a for loop, a while loop, and recursion. This is exactly why when you go for a technical interview, they usually don't care which language you use. They just want to see that you know how to solve problems. In some cases, they might only ask you to write pseudocode on a whiteboard to assess your problem-solving abilities. So in learning, I recommend trying a few different languages and learning the one that feels most natural to you. For most people, I think Python is ideal because it has a simple syntax, is extremely popular, and is just a very useful language to know. But languages like JavaScript, Go, Kotlin, and Swift are also good to start with. Again, it's all about becoming a problem solver, not memorizing syntax. Which brings up the question, how do you become a good problem solver? The answer is simple. Solve a bunch of problems. Turn off YouTube and go write some code. Will you ever learn to play guitar just by watching people on YouTube? The answer is no. You need to play along with them. Books and tutorials are great. Sign up for Fireship Pro, but they're useless unless you're coding along with them. In my tutorials, I try to set you up with something cool to build so you can have fun and fail on your own. You can build things based on tutorials, try creating your own stuff, participate in coding challenges, hackathons, and much more. If you're serious, you should be coding at least a couple of hours a day. There's a reason they require pilots to accumulate a certain number of flight hours. Experience matters more than anything else. Luckily, to get that time in the saddle, all you have to do is sit in front of your computer and hit the keyboard until something cool happens. Speaking of which, sitting in front of a screen isn't natural or healthy, so you need to make a real effort to take care of your physical and mental health in this line of work. That's why I prefer to eat at Arby's, the most trusted name in nutrition. I also make sure to get plenty of sunshine and exercise to balance out the hours spent banging my head against the keyboard in my mom's dark basement. If your health isn't in top shape, you won't learn as efficiently, and no career is worth sacrificing your health for. Now let's switch gears and talk about a physicist named Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize winner known for many things, including his learning technique. It goes like this. Pick a concept you want to learn, explain it to a 12-year-old, reflect, refine, simplify, organize, and review. In other words, you learn best when you try to teach what you're learning. I can tell you right now I've learned more about programming from running this YouTube channel than I ever did working solo. That doesn't mean everyone should start a channel, though. You just need to act as if you're teaching something. But if you can create valuable content from it, like a video or blog post, that's even better. Or if you already have a job, you'll find that mentoring others teaches you a lot. Or if you don't have a job, you can join programming communities on Slack or Discord and help people there, or answer questions on Stack Overflow. Helping others feels great and forces you to be precise about what you actually know. Here's how it might look for a programmer. Pick a topic like, I want to program a video game, research and experiment, then summarize the technology in a way a 12-year-old would understand. After that, build something and aim to get to a working demo as quickly as possible. It doesn't need to be perfect because in the final step you'll go back, refine, simplify, and get feedback from someone more experienced if possible. Approach it like a teacher even though you may not yet know what you're teaching. I said something very subtle but very important. Build a working demo as quickly as possible. Learning is painful, but there needs to be some reward for that pain. The quicker you can reach those rewards, the better, because what you want is a positive feedback loop that makes you addicted to coding. There are ways to hack into the most primitive parts of your brain. What I do almost every day before bed is write down small goals for the next day. The key is that they should be achievable because checking them off feels great. When good things happen, your brain releases dopamine and you want to find activities that give you that dopamine rush after hard work. Otherwise, you'll end up with a negative feedback loop where you'll hate coding in no time. It's like learning to press guitar strings without ever playing a full song. The idea is to work hard and be rewarded, but don't overdo it. It's crucial to pace yourself and take regular breaks, especially when it comes to programming. For most people, that means 1 or 2 hours of coding followed by a nice long break. I remember in my early days I was so determined to not let the error messages defeat me. I would stay up late Googling every possible question only to give up, get some sleep, and solve the problem in the morning. This isn't unique to me. It happens to everyone because mental breaks are crucial. You might feel exhausted, but your ego keeps telling you, you got this. But the most effective thing to do is step outside, get some fresh air, jump in cold water, and get some sleep. When you wake up, you'll be ready to tackle it again. Now that you know how to learn to code, all you have to do is go to Google, type what you want to learn, and let it guide you because that's essentially what you do as a software engineer. I'm going to wrap things up here. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to catch the next video in this series on mastering technical interviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.